Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I was just scrolling through the gallery here. Glad to see the people who I know and very, very glad to see the people I don't know yet. It's an honor. Welcome, everybody, to the Circle of Hearts, where we are truly, not metaphorically and not philosophically, we are one. We are. Because what is in each heart is the same in each heart. It's the seed from which consciousness grows in every person. The fact that most people forget that, and that I forget it sometimes, doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I forgot. So when I get with you all, first thing that happens is I remember. I feel my heart. I feel your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart. I feel that place in the center. That's the same. You know, it's super simple. Spirituality, true spirituality is very, very simple. We complicate it with ideology and religion and opinion and confusion, but super simple. So it's my honor. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Us means me and all the guides that are here and the people who of Essential Light who are putting this on. You know, Heather Murphy, who does all the tech stuff and guides all this and signs you all up, and the people on this call who have held this space now since 2008. You know, we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. We've helped some people. That was the point, right? So thank you. I want to share a couple things, but first, let's affirm this heart deal, huh? So when I say to you, breathe into your heart, connect yourself with that, with your own heart. And then just by paying attention and giving permission, allow your heart to link with all the other hearts that are in this circle, right? This very temporary little community that we have formed here. And if you just give permission with that thought in your field, it's exactly what happens. Huh? Like that, see? Hearts seek hearts. Hearts seek hearts. Like a piece of me knows that a part of it is in you. Right? It's subconscious. And when we come together this way, we are exponentially stronger than the sum of our parts. There you go. Like that. Now I'm going to tell you what's happening for me and then ask you to join me. What I feel now is the energy of my heart rising up and coming to my throat chakra and opening me to receive what we are going to receive here together in these minutes that we have. And also opening up the two main aspects connected to receiving: gratitude and generosity. Gratitude and generosity. Gratitude and generosity are the keys to true prosperity, right? As we know, I mean, it's good to have enough resources to eat, to have shelter, to have fun. That's good, but that is not prosperity. Prosperity is the ability to receive your portion of divine love and love around you, love from others, and the blessing to be able to transmit that love from you to others, through you and to you. As far as I know, that's what prosperity is. So what opens the throat chakra, it's happening for me now, I hope it's happening for you, is the vibration of gratitude and generosity that comes here and does this. It is the belief, which is just a belief in scarcity, that creates a huge amount of the problems that we have on this earth. We believe that there's actually an anthropological name for it. It's called the law of limited good. The law of limited good. There's only so much, and so I better get mine, because if I don't have mine, somebody else is going to take the small amount that's available to me. It's literally not true, but it is a widely held belief that limits our generosity to each other and limits our receiving to both ends. When I was in Brazil the first time, meeting the Holy Daime in 1988, February 1988, I had tremendous teachings going on. Many things. It was like they'd been waiting for me for my 37 years to start telling me all kinds of stuff, right? And at the end of the Daime work that changed my life utterly, we were closing the work, and I said, so can you give me a summary? Can you like sum up all this? Because I know I'm not going to remember most of it. And I heard a voice clear as day that said, you are love. There is enough for everyone and everything, and laughter opens the heart. That's what it came down to. You are love. See these balloons? You see these balloons going? I have no idea what they are. Somebody told me today, they're like, the AI is getting used to me. But it's been happening all week. All of a sudden, and then they'll be like this. There'll be thumbs that appear. Oh, there you go. I have no idea. Look, if the AI is listening in and wants to transmit this all over the world, good for everybody. You know what I mean? I don't care. I got nothing to hide. So you are love. There's enough for everybody and everything, and laughter opens the heart. That was the fundamental study that I've been making since 1988. So here now, let's adopt the belief in abundance. No matter how much money you have or don't have or what things are going on. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about let's open ourselves to receive what's coming and going to come in this hour, and let it come through our generosity, whatever that looks like. And make an experiment. If I don't, niggle, right? If I don't like, well, I can only do this much and I can receive this much and I can only give this much and I can only say this much and I can only do this much. What if we are like, what wants to come through? What wants to come through? And what wants to come in that is good for me, because if I'm grounded in my heart and grounded on the earth, I have discernment. And if something's coming to me that is not good for me, I just say no. 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 Sorry. This is the house of God. This is a house of light. What nurtures light? What nurtures my relationship with the divine? Let's go. What doesn't? No. Sorry. You see what I mean? So it doesn't have to be controlled. It doesn't have to be like this and this and this. We learned this as children, most of us. I certainly did. My love wasn't received, mostly. And so I learned to shut it off and do this. Like playing badminton. Now I'm learning something different. Okay? Like that. Now take this that you're feeling, whatever it is, and tune into your first chakra between your feet, coming out of your perineum, and ground it. Make it real. It's another belief we have, right? A false belief. Our spirituality and our reality don't touch. They do touch in the heart. And our grounded heart has discernment and, in fact, has power. Has the power of love, has the power of faith, has the power of compassion. Not a power to dominate, but a power to be available to light, which is then transmitted through us and does good in the world. Right? The master, my master, but maybe not your master, maybe he's just a great teacher to you, said, by myself I can do nothing. But through me, my father, we add my mother, my guides, can do all manner of things. By myself I can do nothing. But through me, the divine can do all manner of things. Spirituality is fundamentally a matter of availability. The illnesses that we have are simply blockages to our availability to our full measure of light. And they're there to be transformed so that we can learn what we need to learn on the way to becoming that transmission vehicle for light. I want to share something with you also. Right, this is the end of the year, and I'm like, okay, here's my gifts to you. I'm just giving you what I can give you, you know. So I was recently in Brazil in beginning of November. I went there because I needed to. I went there, I had to do a spiritual cleansing and ceremony for myself because this has been a super, super intense year for me and for my family, right? Galvanized around the fact that, I mean, I think many of you know this. In April, we were in Brazil leading a workshop that we do every year in a gorgeous place in the mountains. And I had a heart attack. And that heart attack literally and metaphorically brought me to my knees, is teaching me a very, very difficult lesson for me about humility, about who's in charge for real, right? I was given literally a new life, a new lease on life. And to finish that process, I need to go to Brazil. I need to do a spiritual ritual that only is done there and only done by a few people. And so my daughter and I went there for 10 days. The second part, we did the ritual. The first part, we were staying in a very, very beautiful location where we go, another place in the mountains of Brazil called Lumiar. And we were staying in a posada next to a river. There's actually 3 rivers that come together at the same place. Very, very, very beautiful place. We spent 4 days there, went to a diamond work, blah, blah, blah. So the second day, I was standing in the river. The first day, the river was dirty because it had been raining so much. The second day, I'm standing in the river, probably up to my waist, and I'm praying to the force of the river, who in our spiritual tradition is called Oshun, O-X-U-N. She is the personification of the forces of the sweet, we call the sweet waters, right? The non-salty waters. So I'm just standing there, and people are around. It's like a recreation, but it's not a huge amount of people, maybe 20 people, and they're on rocks and swimming and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just standing there in the river, praying to her and saying, cleanse me. All right. I came all this way, like, just clean me, like take my cells and just like clean everything out of me. And I see, my eyes closed, but I see clearly standing in front of me in the river, my guide, my master, my teacher. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So I'm just standing there, and he shows me, didn't tell me words, but showed me through my intuition and through demonstrating the following. He showed me that my job in my own healing and my own development is to contact consciously, vibrationally, the place of faith in my heart. That's my job. And nobody's going to help me do that. I have what's in me more than sufficient to do that. Then I connect that place in me with his heart, and he opens me to the infinite, to the universal force of faith. Right? Faith is what literally drives evolution forward. The vibration of faith. It's what moves the universe in its progression, holds everything in its vibratory state, makes everything possible, ultimately gives order to whatever's going on, right? So gravity and All the laws of physics are held within the vibration of faith. So my job is, that was my job, which I have been working on for months and months and months and months and months. Very difficult moments in my life to find that place of faith, link to it, and refuse to leave it. Hard sometimes. Right? Look where my hands are, right? You all know this. Place of faith is in the mental body of the heart chakra. For those who are new here, what I'm saying is not metaphorical. Faith lives in a particular place in your heart chakra. Just like compassion, just like humility, just like surrender, just like forgiveness, just like mercy, just like grace, just like self-love. All these places. By the way, if you want to learn more, I'm going to be doing a class in March and April where we're going to study this together. By the way, you'll be getting a notice about it. So that's what he taught me in that moment. And that's what makes a true teacher on the inner planes. Because then what he did is, when I found that way to connect to the infinite, he stepped aside and he let me do it myself. It's the difference between a spiritual path, true spiritual path, and a religion. In a religion, we place the icon, right? Christianity says it's only through him you must believe in him, 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 believe in him. Right? And then they take the story of this time of year and they turn it into that story. So I am a member of a Gnostic, esoteric, syncretic, primitive Christian religion for you all. That doesn't mean I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm not asking you to believe anything. But my spiritual path is Gnostic, esoteric, syncretic, primitive Christian. And my teacher does that, shows me, makes me do it myself. So I learn. It's not just about believing in him, believing in her, turning it over. To me, that's not my religion. That may be your religion, and that's fine if it works for you. I'm not saying something critical. You all came to be with me tonight, so I'm just giving you what I know. My job is to find in my built-in aura, my vehicle, those places. That is my salvation. Finding what is already in me, linking with what is already in me, cultivating that embodied spiritual vibration in me, and then taking the help of the divine ones, like this, when I extend my hand, taking the hand, the heart, the words, but mostly the vibration of those ones, and stepping into the universal. Going from the universal in me to the universal in the universe. Was the first time in that river that I can honestly say in this life, for real, that I knew that I wasn't alone. I've had experiences. Of course, I had experiences, right? My path is a medicine path, and that path allows the experience of transpersonal states, transcendent states. I'm grateful, 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 grateful. But in me, for real, in that moment, in that river, and nobody knew except me. I'm just standing in the river, my eyes closed. The first time in my life, for real, unquestionably, I know I am not alone. So here's what we're going to do, my friends. We live in a paradox, right? We live in the paradox of the relationship between individual and collective. And if we study cultures, we realize that every culture has a slightly different formula for that relationship. Right? Those of us who live in the United States, we are on an extreme of emphasis on the individual. There are tribal people who live on the other extreme, right? They are not individuals. Everything has to do with the collective. Everything has to do with the tribe. Everything has to do with the family. And then there are variations on those themes. I started out by saying my experience is when I reach my heart, that's where those things come together. I am me in this life, and I'm learning more and more and more about who that is. And I'm not me also. I am me within a context. I am me within a family context. I'm me within a human context. I'm me within a spiritual context, me and my guides. And then ultimately, as my other teacher, Paramahansa Yogananda teaches, I am none of those. And I am one with all of that, all that is. So the study for me through the heart is the study of that seeming paradox, which when I get to the center of my heart is not a paradox at all. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to segue here. We're going to segue into the light, the healing light invocation, right? The price you pay for getting to do that is you have to listen to me for a few minutes. I hope it's worth it. As someone once said, a teacher of mine, he said, well, it's all babble. If you like my babble, listen to my babble. If you don't like my babble, go find somebody else's babble. You know, it's all babble. So we're going to do both, though. We're going to have a, when we connect on that through the heart on that altar, and we're going to create this altar of faith together. Some of you haven't done it, but we'll do it together. And then we're going to have two parts. We're going to have each of us is going to put what our individual needs are, what we are holding that we do not need anymore. We're going to put it on that altar of faith, and we're going to cleanse ourselves as much as can be in these minutes of that which we are carrying that we don't need anymore. That includes our own material, but it also includes that which we have gathered from perambulating through the world, right? We live in a sea of energy. We don't live in a, right? I see people, I know people, there's people here from upstate New York. I live in Oregon, I live in the country, people, right? All kinds of different areas. And so I love that I live in a place that has clean air and clean water, and I can breathe outside and go, wow, I'm living in a sea of energy, you know? Last week I had surgery on my foot. I'm sitting here with a boot on my ankle. And I went to the surgery center, and I was probably there for 2 hours. And I basically brought the surgery center home with me. Took me until yesterday to clear. I was like, dude, I hope everybody there feels better. I was like a sponge for all that. You can imagine it's a surgery center. People are like distressed and dying and bringing their children in to have operations and freaked out and blah, 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 blah. So I was under general anesthetic. So imagine all the little greavies, all those energies were like, woo, woo, let's go. So it was super intense for me. So everybody has some of that. Some of us are a little extreme because we have some serious karma to work out. But the rest of you, you got it anyway, but it just doesn't, you're maybe not as extreme as that. Maybe it is, right? But we're going to clean that stuff and we're going to put ours on the altar. And then we are going to put what's going on in this world in our altar of faith, and we're going to call light to it. Here's what I have seen, my dear ones, clearly. The negative thoughts on earth, the thoughts of fear, the thoughts of hatred, the thoughts of division, right, all the trauma thoughts, all of that is so present, it's so intense right now on earth, right, being symbolized and galvanized by what's going on in the Middle East, but really having, right, expressions everywhere or almost everywhere. All of those thoughts create a barrier in the mental body of the earth, just like they create a mental barrier in your aura. And the light it makes it hard for the light to get through. So the collective calling of light helps break through the barrier of that negative thought and brings light to earth. Again, at least in my world, that's not metaphorical. That's literally how it is. So every day when I sit in front of my altar, that's part of what I do is I visualize that and I'm like, let's bring light down. Let's bring light. Let's bring light. Right? So that two parts, what you're carrying and collective. Okay? I think everybody's here. You're ready to do that, right? So Adama's giving me the thumbs up, and let's see if there's a thumbs up that'll come in my aura here, right? Nope. So let's do that, my dear ones, huh? Let's start. I'm going to lead you through a little medication. No, meditation. Meditation here, and get us to that place of the heart again. And then I'm going to ask you to take what you don't need and put it on the altar of faith. Okay? And then we're going to call light to it. So, feel your feet on the ground. Hang on a second. Excuse me. Feel your feet on the ground. We're talking about sensation here because what we're activating is already there, just waiting to be activated. Feel your feet in the ground, or however you're sitting. Feel the ground underneath you. Breathe into that connection with the earth. Come into your body. Don't hover. Inhabit your body by your breath, by your awareness. Now put one hand on the bottom of your belly, above your pubic bone, and the other underneath your collarbone. Breathe between your hands, activating your center, which is in front of your spine. You have a tube of light, a braid of light made up of the energies of earth and the energies of heaven that create your body. Breathe up, hold it for 3 seconds. Breathe down, Hold it for 3 seconds. Do that 3 times. Like that. Grounded, opening your center. Now put both your hands crossed over your heart center. Just calling attention, enough pressure so your awareness is centered there. By doing this, you are activating the space of calmness in your etheric body. Now take the middle finger of the bottom hand on your chest and put it right in the center of your breastbone. If you poke around a little up and down, you'll find a place that's a little sore. It's called conception vessel 17. It's the center of the heart chakra. Breathe into that place. Connect your awareness with that place where humility lives. Humility lives right there. A discreet, hidden, silent place. So you're grounded on earth, feeling your center, awakening your heart center. Now turn your hands, make a shelf, your palms facing up, the heel of your hand touching your chest. Your fingers open, hands side by side. See, feel, imagine that extending over the course of your hands coming up to your fingers is a dock on a pristine, perfect, clear lake. Walk out, sit on that dock, the edge of the dock, and dangle your bare feet in that perfect lake. Sit there, breathe, relax, feel what it feels like to be there. This, my dears, is the space of compassion. Everything we do is held in the space of compassion because compassion is the space of all possibility. Be there, breathe there. Now, put the heel of your hands where your fingers are. You've gone 50%. Extend your hands again as much as you just did. The same thing, your fingers are pointing are perpendicular to your body. Now, this is the space of faith. Feel it, see it, sense it, imagine it. Now see, feel, imagine, sense that where that space of faith is in your heart, there is an altar, a simple altar, but an altar. An altar is where we put our spiritual selves, where we put the things we don't know what to do with, and we put them there, surrender them, give them to the divine. Take that which you are working on in you, whatever is a dilemma, whatever needs attention on any level of yourself, your health, your mind, your life, your karma, if you know what it is, all the stuff you've been carrying around from your childhood that you gathered in your family, from your work that you gathered yesterday, from your relationships, from your caring so much about what happens in the world, from your ignoring what happens in the world, and put it on the altar of faith. See it, feel it, deposit it. And now the first step is complete. We are now going to call light to that place collectively, individually and collectively. I'm going to say a prayer to open this space. Here's what it says. We call on the guides of these beloved ones. We call on the guides of this work that we share. We ask that everything that we have put on this altar be radiated with divine light, the light of transformation, the light of illumination. We ask this in the name of the Christ on earth. We ask this in the name of each of our souls and each of our spirit. We sincerely ask for the illumination of this light. And we ask that what we do here be of some good use. To all beings in the sacred path of unity, harmony, transformation, illumination, and liberation. Amen. So breathe in your heart. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, call light as you know how to do it. Call light as you know how to do it. Not with your mind, from your heart and your higher will. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hmm. 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 So, my dear ones, this moment is going to continue as we continue our work here. Anything that comes up for you, put it on that altar and keep doing it. Allow the light to get to you through your breath. Access your faith. Feel what faith does for you. The hope it gives you, the context it gives you, the firmness it gives you. And now we're going to take a step. You have your altar of faith. I have my altar of faith. Each of us in this circle has our altar of faith activated. We are now going to extend that altar into the center and create a common altar of faith. An altar of faith made up of the faith of each of us and the infusion of divine faith, those beings holding the faith for humanity at this moment, and the ultimate energy of faith that holds everything in consciousness. We call on those beings, each of us, each of our beings, each of our guides, and the guides of this work, and those beyond this that are holding the space of earth on earth for humanity, to create with us an altar of faith. Now, here, now, among us. Like that. And we are putting on this altar, each of us and all of us, those ones on earth who need this light, those situations on earth that need this light, that need the light of faith and the peace that rides on faith, that need compassion and the patience and illumination that comes from compassion. Most especially that need the light of forgiveness. The light of mercy, the light of true justice, the light of self-love. We ask here sincerely, as humbly as we can, for light to shine upon all of this, to break through the clouds of thought. Come here now, here now, here now, to our altar of faith. Transform the darkness, transform the fear, transform the confusion, transform the misunderstanding, transform the belief in lack, transform the trauma in divine light. Here now, here now, here now. Here now, here now, here now. Hmm. 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 We are now linking our altar of faith and this light with all the ones praying on earth in every place, most especially those ones in the center of where the conflict is manifesting, linking with their hearts. Here now, here now, here now. Giving this strength of faith, sharing this light. Mm. There. Mm. Mm. Mhm. Hmm. Hmm. And now, if you choose, if it feels right to you, pledge yourself and ask your guides to help you to recreate this altar of faith for your own benefit and for the benefit of all in whatever measure of light you have been given. That measure of light will increase. It's like a muscle that you use and it gets stronger and your capacity grows. If you choose, if it feels right, ask for your measure of light to be increased, for your guides to help you learn how to use it and hold it, and to remember to place your dilemmas and the worldly dilemmas, if you choose, on the altar of faith. Hmm. Let's memorize this, huh? Memorize how it feels to be connected through the heart to so many. I'm sure that if we all showed our bona fides and we all shared our opinions and we all shared our perspectives, we would have a wide range. And yet, here we are, joined in the heart, doing good. I want to thank you all profoundly for the opportunity to galvanize this help. Yeah. We're all called to do what we do. If we do it with heart, we are guaranteed success. But we can also have these places of refuge where we are in common harmony. Before we go, I need to ask somebody. I need to ask Jennifer, is that my friend Rowan disguised as a bunny?
Yeah, she has her sleep mask on and is sleeping.
Well, I want her to know that I love her and that Agya Branca came as a healing for her.
Thank you so much. I will tell her.
And I saw my other special friend, Emmanuel, also there. So that is in and of itself, when we get to see our special friends, it's very, very, very beautiful. So I want to thank you all so much. It's an honor, pleasure. We'll keep doing these in as much as we can next year. Uh, I will, because it's a good thing to do. I will invoke your generosity once more if you feel to help out the Essential Light Institute to do these things, right? To do this. We are grateful, grateful, grateful for whatever contribution you feel to make from your own heart and your own generosity. It's absolutely not necessary, and there's no consequences for anything either way. But if you feel that and you want to, contribute to the mission a little bit, that will be most grateful. Right? I believe we have contributed to light in the darkness. I believe we have done that tonight. I know it. I saw the ripples going out from us around the earth. One of the um, one of the things that faith has to tell us is that even though most of the time when we do this kind of work, we don't get to see directly what the effect is. Like, how do you know? When people say, "Whoa, all they were doing was praying." Well, imagine if they weren't praying. You know. So I see that. I saw the ripples going out. And so somehow we are helping. And there are, as I said, there are people in every place doing the same thing with different language and different frame and different ways of talking about it. I was on a call yesterday with people in Israel, and I'm participating in a project of teaching this that we did tonight to a circle of 5,000 people who have joined in an internet thread, an internet web. And so this simple, authentic, grounded, not fancy, real thing that we're doing has effect. And we don't get to see all of what it is, but we get to get the reinforcement of feeling good in our hearts and getting the hope and the strength to carry on, which is what we can do. Okay. So happy holidays to you all. May this light in your hearts spread to your families, to your friends, right? May your gratitude and generosity create true prosperity for you and all of those in your life. May you get closer to the knowledge of your guides and your true mission on earth. And may you remember, may I remember, may we remember that we are not alone. Thank you. Bless us all. They say, well, by the way, I want to say, Leslie Maisel, you have this light shining down upon you. Everybody look at her screen. She has this like vertical light that is just was shining the whole time down on her heart. It's super beautiful. Okay, balloons and light. Amen. Love to you all. See you down the road.